Hey, what's going on internet? Josh Noel from SonduckFilm. So in this tutorial, we'll be creating the solar system basically from scratch with 2D graphics, and this is what we'll be creating. So basically, we'll start off in the center of our solar system, and we'll zoom out and we'll see some of our planets, and they'll rotate, and we'll create these from scratch in After Effects. So I think it's a great tutorial. This was probably a little bit fast for a demo, but you know what? This tutorial I think is fantastic because you'll be able to create planets and be able to create orbits for them and do whatever you want to do. So this looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the planets, and then we're going to go ahead and animate this a little bit later. So if you want to skip ahead to watch the animation, go ahead and do that. But in this first part, we're going to create some planets. So let's go ahead and basically create a new composition, and let's make the width 1000 and the height 500, and we'll call this one Mercury. And that's fine. So we'll go up to Layer, New, Solid, and we'll set our color to a peach color, maybe like that. And this will look like be our background for Mercury. And then what we'll do is basically go up to the ellipse tool over here, and we'll hold down Command and Shift while we click here, and it'll create some circles for our texture. So basically, just draw some circles kind of like this. And if we want, we can go up to the fill at the top here, and we can change the color of this to whatever we really want to do. We can select all the ellipse tools, or the ellipse mask here, and then we can go ahead and set the fill like that. I'll just go ahead and select kind of like that. Maybe we'll just delete that one, and then maybe we'll duplicate another one, and we'll just go ahead and move it over, kind of like that. So just like that, we have a planet texture, and I'll show you what this will look like real fast. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create a new composition. We'll make this one 1920 by 1080, and we'll basically call this one our main solar system. Okay, and then what we can do is drag in our Mercury composition into here, and then what we can do is go to Effect, Perspective, CC Sphere. And now we have this three-dimensional sphere of Mercury, and basically, there's a few things we'll talk about a little bit later, but of course we can rotate this, and got some awesome looking things here, but this is just, this is a little bit, we're moving a little bit forward here, so let's go ahead and go back and finish creating our planet. So just want to show you guys how that's going to turn out to be. So now what we do is go ahead and create another composition, make this one 1000 by 500, and we'll call this one Venus. And then basically, we'll go ahead and create another background here, and then our new solid, and we'll go ahead and maybe set it to like a darker orange here, and then we can go up to the pen tool, and then we can kind of just like draw like these thin lines all the way across like this, and kind of close it up. And there's so many ways to do this to create planets. I mean, this isn't like the best way to do it, and I went ahead and changed the color to a peach color, but it's all about like what you want your planet to look like. I think this looks fine for me, just creating these like lines like this that goes across the planet, and kind of creates like these atmospheres, almost like Jupiter, but pretty much everyone will get what planet you're talking about as long as it kind of has the similar colors to what it does in reality. So just like that, I created maybe Venus. Maybe that can pass as Jupiter, but I think it's going to be just fine as Venus. And then let's go ahead and create another composition, and we'll call this one Earth. All right, and this one is a little bit different. So Earth, we really can't just recreate that. So what we can do is you can download this project file. And I have basically a map right here that's basically just already Earth. This is black and white map of the Earth. And what we can do is basically go up to Effect, Color Correction, Tint, and we can change some of these colors. So we can change the black to like a green color. So like it's gonna look like land or something like that, And then we can change the white to a blue color for the ocean. I'm not sure what looks good here. That should be okay. So then that could be our Earth right there. And you can always download the stuff off of Google or whatever. But that's Earth. And then let's go ahead and create another composition. And we'll call this one Mars. And for Mars, we'll go ahead and create a new solid. And basically, maybe we'll make it like a red color. You know, like that. And then we'll go up here to the ellipse tool. And maybe we'll just like draw out some circles. Oh, make sure that layer's not selected. And draw out some circles like this. And maybe we'll change the color to maybe like darker red, maybe like that. And then we'll keep drawing out these like ellipse circles like this, really quickly. See, it doesn't take too much time to create these planets, but it's also probably because I'm a little bit lazy and I don't put a lot of detail and stuff. But I think this looks pretty good. So there we have our Mars, and then once again we'll go ahead and create another comp, and we'll call this one Jupiter. And basically, we'll go ahead and create another solid, and maybe we'll make this one, I don't know, what color is Jupiter? Orange. Maybe make it like a bright orange. And with Jupiter, maybe we'll create some lines that go across the planet, kind of like this. And maybe we'll set the color to maybe like a yellowish sort of color like that. And maybe we'll do like another one at the top. Kind of like that. And then maybe like within this yellow one here, maybe we'll create like a a thin sort of streak like this. And then maybe we'll change the color of it to like maybe red or something. And then, we'll just continue to create some semi-shapes like this that go halfway through. Maybe make it like a gray color. All right, for Jupiter, I just, went ahead and created some shapes like this. Nothing over the top. You can be completely random with it, but, it looks cool. And we'll go ahead and just do one more, which will be Saturn. And we'll click OK here. And then we'll go ahead and create a new solid. And, maybe we'll just make this one like a, I don't know what color is that. Makes one like that sort of color right there. And then we'll go across the entire planet like this. Create like some two big stripes, and then we'll change the color to like a darker color like that maybe. And we'll create just one more. All right. And that should be fine for now. So basically now we have all of our planet textures created. So we can go back into our main solar system comp, and let's go ahead and create a new solid, and we'll call this one background. And we'll go up to Effect, Generate Gradient Ramp, and we'll set it to Radial Ramp and set the center of this black in the center here. And we'll go ahead and maybe set it to like a light or a dark sort of blue, and then go to the end color, and we'll set that to like a very dark blue, and then maybe we'll zoom out and we'll take the point down here and kind of stretch it out like that. So now we have a cool little gradient, and we can increase the ramp scatter by a lot, so that'll get rid of some of the banding here. And if you see the banding on YouTube, that's just because of the recording software that I'm using and the compression, but I promise you the banding is not here if you see it. And we'll go ahead and put the background underneath the Mercury layer, and let's turn off Mercury because we need to create the sun real fast. So what we'll do is go up to create a new solid and make it 1080 by 1080, and we'll call this layer sun. We'll click OK, and then we'll go to the ellipse tool right here, and we'll double click it, which will create a perfect circle for us, and we'll hit S on our keyboard to bring up scale, and we'll bring that down kind of like that. And then let's go back up to Effect, Generate Gradient Ramp, and once again we'll center our black point here and set it to a radial ramp. And let's go ahead and set these colors to like a yellow orange sort of look, kind of like that. So now we have our sun right here in the center, and then we can turn on our Mercury layer and maybe put the Mercury on top of our sun. So we need to start, animating this and, start making this look good. So first things first, let's go ahead and turn the radius down by a lot. And actually, let's go ahead and scale our sun up by a little bit as well, because this sun is massive. So there's our sun layer, and there's Mercury. So what we can do for ambient, I'll go into the shading properties, and for ambient, go ahead and set the ambient to about 100 and turn the diffuse down to 0 and the specular to 0 as well. So now we'll have a flat Mercury here. And that looks pretty good. And then what we need to do is go ahead and create another solid, and we need to call this one Mercury path. And we can set it to make comp size and white. And actually, let's go ahead and lock aspect ratio, and let's make this thing massive, because a little bit later, once we start putting in like the planets that are further away from the sun, we're going to want larger solids. So this is pretty good. 6,000 by 3,000 should be fine. So go ahead and click OK. So we have a big white solid here. What we can do is maybe turn it off and lock our other layers, and go back up to the ellipse tool. And then I'm going to click in the center of our comp, and basically I'm going to hold down Command and Shift, and I'm going to draw out a perfect circle like this. And this will be our path for Mercury. And then let's go ahead and turn it back on, and let's go up to Effect, Generate Stroke. And let's go ahead and change the paint style to on transparent. So now we have a path of Mercury, but you don't have to do this if you don't want to have the path of Mercury. Just there's optional. But really, what we need to do is go into Mask 1, and we need to select the mask path, and we need to go up to Edit, Copy. Okay, and then let's go ahead and unlock these, and let's go to Mercury and hit P on our keyboard for position, and we need to click position and paste in our mask path. So now Mercury will revolve around the sun like that. And what else we can do is maybe go into our rotation for our CC sphere, and we can click the stopwatch for rotation Y and move to the end of our comp and maybe type in like 4. So now Mercury will rotate, and it looks pretty good. And then what's cool about these keyframes here is we can like drag this into like 1 second. So we want Mercury to revolve around the sun every second. So basically they all change like that. So then what we can do is we can copy our keyframes, paste them, and then go all the way through our timeline here, and we can paste Mercury to go around the sun every 1 second. So looks pretty good. Or however long it is in real life, you want to say your composition is 88 days, you can do that. So actually, I don't even think you can make a composition that long, but there's that. And we'll go ahead and put the Mercury path underneath Mercury. So looks pretty good. And like I said, you can turn off Mercury path. You don't really need it, but if you want it, there it is. So looking pretty good. So what we can do now, since we have Mercury set up, we can basically go to a project, and we can go and say, hey, Venus, come here. And we can put in Venus. That's not Venus. We can say put in Venus like this. So there's our Venus map. And what we can do is go to Mercury, and we can copy CC sphere, and make sure you go to the beginning of our timeline, and we'll paste that in there. So there's Venus. So now what we need to do is we need to go duplicate the Mercury path, and we'll put it underneath Venus. And then what we need to do is hit M on our keyboard to hit the bring up mask path. And here's our path. Then what we need to do is go up to Layer, Mask, and Shape Path, and click on Free Transform Points. And we can basically click the point here, and then hold down Command and Shift, or Control and Shift on a PC. And now we just expanded our mask path here. And that's why we made the solid way big, really big. So now what we can do is copy the mask path, go to Venus position property, and paste the mask path in there. As you see, this will basically rotate. And like I said, we can drag the last keyframe here to about 12 frames, 1 second, 12 frames. So the revolution around the sun is a little bit longer than Venus, and go here and paste this in here. I'll do one more. All right, so now we're looking pretty good at this point. So I'm gonna get this out of the way now, since we want to start zooming out. What I'm gonna do is go up to Layer, New, Camera. Where are you? There you are. And we'll click OK, and then OK, and then we'll go ahead and make all these layers 3D layers, except for our background. And then we'll go to the beginning here. We'll hit P on our keyboard to bring up position. Click the stopwatch for camera 1. And we'll go to like 8 seconds or so. And then we'll go here to the Z position, and we'll just zoom it out like this. So now we'll zoom out of our solar system, which gives us more room to animate more planets on and do cool things. And one thing I forgot to do was make Venus a little bit bigger than Mercury. So what we'll do is go back into the Venus layer, go to CC sphere, and where it says radius, we'll go ahead and increase that by a little bit. So Venus is now a little bit bigger than Mercury. Maybe that's too big. I don't know. I mean, my suggestion if you want to do like perfect accuracy is you should go out into space and, you know, observe how big these planets are and how, you know, how often they rotate and how long it takes to revolve around the sun. Now, if you're on a budget, you can always do a Google search, but you know that's not fun. So depends how much money you have in the budget if you can go up in space and do your own observations. So basically, let's continue to move forward here. Done with my only dumb joke. So basically, we need to go ahead and bring in Earth. Where is Earth? Earth, where are you? Earth left me. Here's Earth. All right. So as always, copy the CC sphere, paste it in there, and then once again, we'll go ahead and duplicate the Mercury path here, which should be called Venus path. Let me go ahead and rename these real fast. This should be called Venus path, and this one should be called Earth path. And I typoed Earth. Great. I don't live here, obviously. That's why I don't know how to spell Earth. And we'll make our new Earth planet a 3D layer. And, you know, once again, we'll go into our mask path and we'll hit Command T or Control T on the PC, and we can basically expand our mask path like this. And that might be too big, but whatever. And we'll copy the mask path, go to the beginning here, and hit P on our keyboard, paste the mask path into the Earth's position. And now we have the Earth revolving around the sun like a bounce. And then we'll go here, copy our keyframes, paste again. And you know what? We'll keep pasting because we like glue. All right. And, you know, I'm going to go ahead and continue with Mars. And it's pretty much redundant at this point. You know, doing this, it's pretty much all the same stuff. So you guys pretty much have the ideas. But I'm going to continue to move forward with this just because... just in case there's any issues with this or whatever, you guys can go ahead and check this out. But make sure to, you know, stay, you know, maybe jump ahead to when we do Saturn's rings. But that's pretty much how you do this sort of thing. It looks really awesome, I think. But let's go ahead and continue to do this. So, you know, if you guys don't mind, I might continue to talk on this, but kind of move the path from Mars out, and then we'll copy the path, go to Mars, paste it. Maybe move it out a little bit to like maybe about 2 seconds and 12 frames. Paste it in there. And we'll continue to go across like that. So now we have Mars. Where's your path? Oh, you're not 3D. Boom. Make Mars 3D layer. Maybe we'll make, you know, Mars a little bit bigger. And also Earth should be a little bit bigger as well. And then maybe we'll go into our camera and we'll go to our last keyframe and we'll zoom it out even more so we can continue to see what we're doing. Looking pretty good. So then, you know, we'll continue with Jupiter. Go ahead and bring Jupiter in here. Where are you, Jupiter? And then we'll make a 3D layer. Duplicate the Earth path too. Go to hit M on our keyboard for mask path. Go to mask path here, and basically Command T will make the mask path way larger because Jupiter is. I think there's a big gap between Mars and Jupiter because there's an asteroid belt, you know, and you know the Illuminati. So you never know what's out there. Copy the sphere, paste it onto Jupiter. I mean, Jupiter. What? And we'll kind of go here, make it Jupiter a little bit bigger, and copy our mask path here and paste it into Jupiter at the beginning. So boom. So now we have Jupiter. Maybe we'll make it 3 seconds for its revolution around the planet. I hope I'm saying that correct. I hope it's called revolution. I love space. I should know that should be the right terminology, but could be wrong. I'm not the smartest person on this planet. And then finally, we'll do Saturn. And where are you, Saturn? Boom. I see you, Saturn. You can't hide from me. Okay. And we'll go here. We'll copy paste. Oh, and make sure to paste at the beginning of the timeline. I'm pretty sure I wasn't perfect on that, but make sure to paste at the beginning of the timeline so you can get that keyframe for the Y rotation. And then duplicate the path here, and we'll maybe go all the way over here, make Saturn a 3D layer, hit M, and we'll move our mask path out like this. Okay, and we'll copy mask path, go to the beginning, hit P for Saturn, paste, maybe make this entire revolution around the sun 4 seconds, copy our keyframes, paste, and once again, paste. So now we zoom out here, boom, we have all of our planets along our rotation. And the reason why I didn't cut this tutorial short, because little issues like the orbit right here happens, and that's because the solid is smaller than our path. So what we need to do is go into the solid settings by going to layer solid settings, and we need to make the solid, bigger, kind of like that. And then we need to make the path smaller to rematch Saturn's path. So we'll go back into mask 1 and we'll bring it down kind of like this, be pretty close to it. So that looks pretty cool. And then maybe we'll even zoom out the animation a little bit more so we can see what Saturn looks like. Okay, and I'm still not perfect on the Earth path, or Saturn's path. So we'll just, well, maybe we'll make it just a little bit smaller. And then we'll go into solid settings and make it a little bit bigger. And then make sure boom. Okay. So some quick fixes, things like that. So now what we need to do is kind of create the rings for Saturn. So what we can do is basically go ahead and create a new solid, and we'll call this one ring. And we'll just make comp size. We don't need, actually, we'll make it 1080 by 1080. And then we'll click OK. And then we'll go ahead and go to the ellipse tool. And we'll double click it. So then we have a perfect circle in here, and then we'll go up to Effect, Generate Stroke. And then do it on Transparent. And maybe we can change the color to, like, I don't know, brown or orange sort of color. Kind of like that. And let me go ahead and solo Saturn and our ring here so we can see what we're doing. So now what we can do is make this a 3D layer. Very important, and we can kind of go ahead and move this forward to where Saturn's at. So boom, like that. And maybe we'll scale it down by a little bit. So now our ring, maybe we'll go ahead and make the brush size a little bit bigger so we can see the ring of Saturn. So it's kind of like that. And then basically, see, we can maybe for a ring hit R on our keyboard for rotation. And we can kind of like maybe rotate the X rotation by a little bit, maybe even the Y if we want. So then what we need to do is go back to the beginning, and for our Saturn path, we need to copy the mask path and paste it into the ring. And we need to make sure the ring is stretched out for as long as our Saturn animation's for. So that's like 4 seconds, and we need to copy, paste, and we'll paste again. So now if I zoom out here, you can see that the ring of Saturn is following the path. And if we want, we can duplicate the ring and maybe make the scale a little bit bigger. So kind of create like a double ring or something. So it looks pretty good. And we'll go ahead and unsolo this layer and that one too. So now we just created the entire orbit of the planets and our sun, and it looks pretty awesome. So I think it was a great tutorial. So if you guys have any questions, please drop a comment down below or hit me up on my social media networks. Those links are in the description of this video. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for more tutorials in After Effects. And if this video has been helpful, please drop a like. It helps me out tremendously. And guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And guys, hopefully I'll see you soon.